Well, at this time, Mario Barrios is going to fight Manny Pacquiao in July.
At 46, most boxers are well into retirement, living quietly or offering insights from a commentary desk. But Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao isn't like most. The iconic 8-division world champion is once again challenging time and expectations. He's gearing up for a high-stakes return to the ring against fast-rising welterweight contender Mario Barrios. Deep within his rigorous training camp, Pacquiao is proving that his lightning speed, relentless discipline, and fighting spirit are still very much alive. His previous professional fight was more than a mere contest. Eddie Hearn believes that even at this stage of his career, Manny Pacquiao still has the ability to beat most fighters ranked outside the top 15 to 20 in the welterweight class. While he admits Pacquiao's form has declined due to age and inactivity, he highlights that the veteran's experience and tactical brilliance continue to make him a serious threat. Hearn also mentions that from a business perspective, Pacquiao's return is a smart move, especially against names like Mario Barrios, who, though skilled, are not yet at the elite level of fighters such as Terence Crawford or Jaron Boots Ennis. However, Hearn advises caution, pointing out that Pacquiao's long layoff from competition could affect his performance.
147, kind of a weird spot right now. We're looking at Manny Pacquiao potentially facing Mario Barrios. What do you think of that fight?
Yeah, I think that, it's a very contentious subject. Like, people moaning about Manny Pacquiao. I think Manny Pacquiao is still good enough to beat most fighters in the top 20 at 147 pounds. He's clearly not the fighter that he once was. You're not going to be at that age. My problem is that he's been inactive for quite a long time. Like, we were talking about fighting him with Conor Benn maybe 6 months ago or a year, and every month or 3 months or 6 months that passes, you do become a lot older. So, I guess there's two questions. One is, should he be fighting again? And at the end of the day, if he's good enough to beat everybody outside of the top 20 in the world, then why not? But should he be fighting for the world title? I guess that's another question. In the commercial world of boxing, the answer is yeah, probably. In the ratings world and activity world, the answer is probably not.
Do you think it's strange that he's coming off the couch and getting a title fight like that?
I think when you've achieved what he's achieved, you've always got the right to do things a little bit differently to others. And with all due respect, Barrios is not Boots. Barrios is not Crawford, and that's why we pushed the Conor Benn fight. Conor Benn, like, his best win is against Algieri or Van Heerden. So actually, Pacquiao is a step up, and people are still complaining at me for mentioning that fight, like Conor Benn is Boots, but he still hasn't had those wins yet.
Manny Pacquiao's last professional fight took place in August 2021. Where he faced Yordenis Ugas and lost via unanimous decision. Since then, he has remained absent from the ring. Promoter Eddie Hearn has emphasized that extended inactivity can be particularly harmful, especially for aging fighters. While Pacquiao's determination to make a comeback is admirable, the physical demands of elite-level boxing are intense. At 46, the challenge of returning to peak condition and competing against younger, more active fighters is no small feat. Even so, Pacquiao's vast experience and strategic ring craft could still make him a dangerous contender in the welterweight division. His scheduled comeback against Mario Barrios for the WBC welterweight title in July 2025 highlights his unwavering ambition to remain at boxing's highest level. However, the result of such a return remains uncertain, given the sport's unforgiving nature and the inevitable impact of aging. In September 2021, Pacquiao officially announced his retirement from boxing to focus on his political journey, including his bid for the Philippine presidency in the 2022 elections. At age 42, following his loss to Ugas, he acknowledged the toll the sport had taken on his body, citing leg cramps during the fight as a sign of physical decline. Despite his enduring love for boxing, he realized it was time to prioritize his health and national responsibilities. In his farewell statement, Pacquiao expressed heartfelt gratitude to the sport that lifted him out of poverty and gave him a platform to inspire millions. He said, "It is difficult for me to accept that my time as a boxer is over."
Pacquiao is now planning to run for president in his native Philippines this upcoming May. But Shannon, how will you remember Manny as a boxer?
Historically great fighter.
Good for you.
The only fighter to win 8 world titles. I mean, Skip, he started out boxing, he was 106 pounds, won a title at, I think, 112, and went all the way up to
108 first.
went all the way up to 154.
It's impossible. It's just...
I don't believe, I feel very comfortable and said I don't believe we'll ever see that again, Skip.
We'll never see it again.
And it wasn't like he was fighting bums. When you go back and look at Marco Antonio Barrera and Eric Morales and Oscar Larios and De La Hoya and Hatton and Cotto, Margarita, Mosley, Timothy Bradley, Mayweather, Skip. I mean, what do you got to say? He was a champion in 4 different decades.
Yep. Fighter
of the year. First ballot Hall of Fame. He's great. He fought everybody.
Stephen A. Smith shared his thoughts on Pacquiao's retirement in a short video clip, praising the Filipino icon's legendary career. He emphasized Pacquiao's extraordinary achievements, not just winning 8 world titles, but also earning global admiration for his humility and determination beyond the ring. Now at 46, Pacquiao is preparing to return against WBC welterweight champion Mario Barrios in July 2025. This will be his first fight since the 2021 loss to Yordenis Ugas. Despite a 4-year break, Pacquiao is focused on securing yet another title, aiming to extend a legacy that already spans generations. The bout is set for July 19, 2025, at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, pending the results of Pacquiao's Senate re-election in the Philippines on May 12th. Barrios, 29, holds a professional record of 29 wins, 2 losses, and 1 draw, with 18 victories by knockout. He was promoted to full WBC champion in June 2024 after Terence Crawford moved up to the 154-pound division. Since then, he has held on to the title following a split draw against Abel Ramos in November 2024. While many fans are excited to see Pacquiao back in action, others question whether he still has what it takes to compete at the elite level. UBC President Mauricio Sulaiman defended the decision to grant Pacquiao a title shot, referencing the rule that allows legendary former champions to petition
in a world title fight against the WBC welterweight champion Mario Barrios. Date yet to be confirmed, venue yet to be confirmed, but it looks like it will be in July and in Las Vegas. Yeah, massive news announced yesterday by the WBC president, and you know, it was so out of left field. You know, Pacquiao hasn't fought professionally since 2021. That was 4 years ago. He was 41 at the time, and of course he lost to Yordenis Ugas, the very tricky Cuban fighter. Convincingly lost to Yordenis Ugas, and in that fight 4 years ago, as I say.
Trainer Greg Hackett didn't mince words when sharing his opinion on Manny Pacquiao's surprising return against Mario Barrios. Speaking openly, Hackett said that had this fight taken place a few years ago, Pacquiao would have made easy work of Barrios. But now, things have changed. He stressed that this version of Pacquiao is far removed from the explosive fighter fans once knew. At 45, the Filipino legend likely no longer possesses the same speed, stamina, or killer instinct. Hackett labeled the bout a money fight, arguing that it's more about financial gain than a true battle between 2 fighters at their peak.
I like Pacquiao trying to hit a lick, you know what I mean? But Pacquiao not Pacquiao no more. It's tough to go against him in this situation, because if it was some years ago, Pacquiao would beat Barrios. But right now, Barrios, with his momentum, might run and beat Pacquiao up. I mean, not knock him out, but, you know what I mean, beat him on the cards, beat him behind that jab.
Similar to like Ugas, the Ugas fight?
Yeah, like on shit like that. It's a good fight, but it's more of a good fight for Barrios Pacquiao don't need it, but Pacquiao want to come back, and he want to come back with a bang, so, I mean, why not? If he can make it happen, make it happen. Because I would love, if Barrios was my fighter, I would love to have a Pacquiao on the record. I mean, I would love something like that. And that's a fight you know you got to get ready for.
The Filipino boxing legend is set to challenge WBC welterweight champion Mario Barrios in July, marking his first professional fight since August 2021. The bout was officially confirmed by WBC President Mauricio Sulaiman, who called it a tremendous matchup during an interview with Boxing King Media. For boxing fans worldwide, this is a monumental event as one of the sport's most revered icons steps back into the spotlight. Pacquiao's last appearance in the ring ended in a unanimous decision loss to Yordenis Ugas. Shortly afterward, he announced his retirement to focus on his political career, including a run for the Philippine presidency in 2022. During his time away from boxing, he remained active in public service and charitable efforts. While rumors of a comeback had circulated for years, the upcoming bout against Mario Barrios carries special significance. Barrios is a dangerous and talented fighter, currently holding the prestigious green and gold WBC belt. For Pacquiao, this is more than a return. It's a chance to make history once more. If he wins, he'll become the oldest welterweight champion ever, adding yet another accolade to his legendary resume. This fight has also reignited debate about whether top-tier fighters can truly defy the limits of age. While some question the physical toll such a comeback may impose, others believe Pacquiao's experience, intelligence, and discipline still make him a threat to younger opponents. Regardless of the outcome, Pacquiao's return is already a major event in the boxing world, reigniting excitement among his global fan base and adding a new chapter to his already iconic journey. Speculation is growing that Pacquiao's comeback against Barrios might be more than just a farewell. It could be the first step in a carefully planned route to one last mega fight. Rumors suggest that if Pacquiao beats Barrios and secures the WBC welterweight title, he may target Gervonta "Tank" Davis, one of the sport's biggest current stars. A potential clash between Pacquiao, a living legend, and Davis, a knockout sensation in his prime, would be a massive pay-per-view draw with global appeal. This has led fans and analysts to speculate whether Barrios was strategically chosen. Though he is a solid champion, Barrios isn't seen as an unbeatable force in the division. Some believe Pacquiao's team sees him as a winnable challenge.
So basically, your interpretation is that the boxing public is upset because they believe Pacquiao's going to beat Barrios, which is going to lead to a Tank Pacquiao fight?
Yes, look around. Look in the Discord. That's what everybody, Pac and Tank, that's being set up.
Oh,
Tank
so,
and Pac.
okay, so they saying Barrios is the setup for Tank and Pac. I didn't see that, but your argument makes sense. If he beats Barrios, there's nothing wrong with him fighting Tank. But the issue is he don't deserve the Barrios fight off of 3 years off and a loss to Ugas.
And that's cry me a river, man. That's what boxing is. But longer deserve a Canelo fight.
If Pacquiao defeats Barrios, a potential clash with Gervonta Davis could instantly become one of the most anticipated fights in recent boxing history. The storyline builds itself. Two explosive southpaws from different generations, both renowned for their knockout power, speed, and charisma, squaring off under the sport's brightest spotlight. On one side stands Pacquiao, an 8-division world champion and global icon seeking to prove he still belongs among the elite. On the other is Gervonta "Tank" Davis, an undefeated star and one of boxing's top attractions, eager to add a legend's name to his resume. The fight would transcend boxing, drawing interest from hardcore fans, mainstream media, and casual viewers alike. With both fighters boasting massive fan followings and strong pay-per-view potential, the event could rival some of the biggest matchups of the past decade. Style-wise, the intrigue only deepens. Both fighters are aggressive, fast, and capable of ending a bout with a single punch. It would be the classic old lion versus young king scenario. Whether it becomes a passing of the torch or a final statement from a legend, the drama and stakes would be monumental. Max Kellerman adds another layer to the discussion by arguing that Manny Pacquiao deserves serious consideration as the greatest pound-for-pound fighter of all time. While he acknowledges that Sugar Ray Robinson is widely seen as the gold standard, admired for his dominance, skill, and longevity, Kellerman contends that Pacquiao's unique resume places him in that elite conversation. He points out that defining greatness depends on one's criteria: peak dominance versus full career accomplishments. If sheer peak dominance is the measure, Robinson may hold the edge, but when considering a fighter's entire body of work, Pacquiao's achievements are unmatched. He remains the only boxer in history to win world titles in 8 weight divisions.
Has a case for greatest fighter, pound for pound, who ever lived. Think about, by the way, I don't think he wins that argument. Sugar Ray Robinson is safely ensconced in that position. But Henry Armstrong, Muhammad Ali, Harry Greb, Sam Langford, Floyd Mayweather, Pernell Whitaker, whoever else you want to mention, put Pacquiao's resume up to those guys.
Manny Pacquiao's prime is widely viewed as his run between the 140 and 147-pound weight classes, a period when he delivered some of the most dominant performances of his storied career. His exceptional combination of speed, punching power, and relentless pressure overwhelmed opponents, many of whom were naturally larger. This era also coincided with peak public demand for a super fight between Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather, as both were at the top of their respective games in the same division. Boxing analysts often lean toward Mayweather in that hypothetical matchup, citing his size advantage and legendary defensive skills. However, Pacquiao's ability to climb weight classes while still dominating elite opponents makes his pound-for-pound case uniquely compelling. Unlike many fighters who lose sharpness when moving up in weight, Pacquiao maintained his explosiveness and remained a threat. His reign from 140 to 147 pounds showcased his rare versatility, iron will, and world-class skill, solidifying his status as one of boxing's most accomplished and respected champions.
I had a way of ranking baseball players that I came across as a kid and thought, that's really smart. You have to rank them at their best, and then also over the course of their careers. Because when you have that argument, are you talking about who accomplished the most, or what heights did they reach? What peak did they reach? Take either for Pacquiao. Take his peak. Was it at 140 pounds when he obliterated Ricky Hatton, Miguel Cotto, and then Oscar De La Hoya, though that was at 147? Was that Pacquiao's peak? Because remember, that's when the Mayweather-Pacquiao hype actually reached fever pitch. Oh my God, these are two of the best fighters we've ever seen, and they're both in their primes